Go. G'day, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of the Chat Show. I have a very special guest. I've been trying to get this lady on for a very, very long time now. She's already laughing. Now we've got the video. She's throwing in a little bit of a sponsorship thing there for Nutrition Republic. But my very successful producer, coordinator, Erin Cutts, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Will. How are you?
Yeah, very well. So now, just giving you a bit of a heads up why we're not in the same room during this weird Corona time is you're actually in self-isolation at the moment, correct?
Loving it. Day
Loving it.
5 of
So
14.
day 5 of 14, you haven't gone too crazy yet. This is the first time you've actually put on proper clothes and dressed up and put makeup on for probably 5 days. So I'm trying to
5 days,
keep
yeah.
I'm trying to keep you sane
Keep
as
me
possible.
sane.
So for everybody who is listening today, again, if you listen to any podcasts around the world right now, everyone's doing them remotely. So the level of quality has obviously dipped a little bit. What is a tad disappointing, but you get to see our beautiful faces now. So we can put this out on socials, etc. How's your audio quality, sis? Don't give me that look.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's not crash hot, but it's fine. It'll do.
So for this element of what we're talking about is we both have very, well, at the moment I don't, and either do you. So we're going to talk about a number of things regarding your career at the moment, because I think your career is very interesting for a 24-year-old, plus what the last 2 weeks were like for you being pretty much the only production in Australia still running, from my understanding that you told us, and that you're self-isolating in my apartment, what means I've been stuck and crashed back home.
Thanks, that, bro.
Yeah, pleasure as always. So what we'll do is we'll go into a couple of things, but for you at the moment, self-isolating, what have you done? How is my apartment stacked up for you? You haven't gone crazy yet, but what have you been watching? What have you been doing?
Well, for those listeners that don't know why I'm self-isolating, so I kind of jump states every 6 months on average, bit of a nomad. But I was working in Broken Hill on a TV series, and probably we found out on Sunday that South Australia were shutting their borders, and we were still working at that point. But then it hit Tuesday, and unfortunately we got shut down like every other production in Australia and pretty much the world, really. The film and TV industry has been hit pretty hard by coronavirus, like a lot of industries have. And unfortunately, we've all kind of been put to a stop still. So I got the joy of driving back to SA on Thursday, crossing the border, catching up with some border control policemen, and now I'm facing 14 days self-isolation, which is super fun. Haven't gone too crazy yet. I'm trying to keep as normal a routine as possible. I didn't set an alarm this morning, but, get up, keep the gym gear on, watch some movies, try and call at least 2 friends or family members a day. And then Will and many other people said, why don't you download the Centre app? So I've been trying to do yoga and Pilates at home to keep semi-sane. So we're going okay at the moment.
Giving a little shout out to Hemsworth here. He's done actually a very good thing. I had another squiz through today at some things. I will start tomorrow, Chris. But what have you been doing on the old Centre app, sis?
Oh, see, I'm a bit of a Pilates yoga type of person. So they do classes between 20 and kind of half an hour. So I've been trying to pump out 2 Pilates classes a day and then my own stretching or a yoga and a Pilates class. Not quite ready to tackle the HIIT yet. Haven't been for a while.
No, I saw one of his ones that was the old boxing one, and the guy looked way too ripped for my boxing. I'm like, where's the beginner class that we can start on? So cooking, I dropped off. I did get Best Brother of the Year by dropping off a coffee to you a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it was great.
Very, very good from me. And you did just get your coffee in from Nutrition Republic, so using your free Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Again,
discount code. I have a slight coffee addiction.
Yeah, so how much did you pay for your bloody Nutrition Republic coffee? I know you're getting it free delivery, but was there a good up price, do you think, on their coffees?
Oh, I mean, it was $6.50, but it's worth every cent.
Okay, very fair. I still think that's ridiculous.
I average $5.10 to $5.30 a coffee because I drink almond milk, like the basic bitch I am.
Yeah, you are a very basic bitch. So you've found my place all right. Obviously, you're keeping it clean. It's actually been some perfect weather for you. because I don't know how some people in this world are doing this now, self-isolating in, or just isolating and social distancing in freezing weather or coolish climates. Like outside today, it's 22 or 23, but it's not too bad.
Yeah.
In relation to where some other people have, I saw some people area actually running marathons on their balconies. Is that something
Yeah, I saw that too. I was
is that
doing
something
laps
you'd be
around
interested?
I was doing laps around the kitchen table yesterday. Hannah and I like to do phone call walks. And so so we were on the phone and I did probably at least 50 laps around the kitchen bench, got real dizzy, then had to rotate with the hallway up and back for a while. I think the neighbours were like, what the fuck is this kid doing? But steps are important.
Yeah, well, there's not much. The space is big enough, but it's not much to run around in. So at least you're doing that sort of stuff. So what I wanted to get in before we discuss family shit and everything, because I think this we can go into some funny moments. I think you've got a very interesting career path that you've gone in. Moving out 18, I guess a lot of people already move out at a young age, but moving into state, and you are very successful, probably the most
Thank
successful
you.
person of the four of us in saying that. But give us a bit of a rundown of
Don't sell yourself
where you.
short.
Yeah, I know, but if we're going to go, it's you one, me two, Manda three, Dean four.
Yeah,
But
fair.
yeah, the internet is a bit dodgy at the moment. So if anyone hears anything cut out, we're sorry for that. So Bond University, it's a very prestigious university, doing very well there, a number of short films, etc. Then going on to Harrow, what I actually quite enjoy, and I'm sure you got some great stories from that, and the Commons that a lot of people would have seen in the viral marketing of 2019, 2020 festive period. Did that come out on Christmas Day or was it Boxing Day?
Yep.
Which one was
Christmas
it?
Day,
Christmas?
yeah.
Okay, good. See, I
Christmas.
listen. But take us through your little career that you're going on at the moment, and what
Yep.
show. I'm guessing you're allowed to go into what show you were just on, or production of that, or if not, just
Yep.
hide that at the moment. So, go from there, sis.
As Will briefly mentioned, I don't know how in depth he went into it because it cut out, but I moved when I was 19 to Queensland and studied film and TV at Bond University. So that was a kind of Bond do trimesters. So it was a pretty hectic degree. We didn't have much time off, but loved it. It kind of implemented that work hard, play hard attitude that you need if you want to make it in the film and TV industry. When I finished uni, I kind of like most people struggled to get a job for a little bit. I threw back to my childhood career of being a kids party entertainer. Used to dress up as a princess and a fairy on the weekends. It was great. Good cash, good fun, pretty tiring. Don't recommend doing it while hungover. It takes a lot of singing and dancing energy. So I did that for a while and then kind of cracked it in the industry, just started working out as like a PA, production secretary. So down the bottom runs of the office and kind of jumped up pretty quick. As we said, I worked on the Commons in Sydney last year as the production coordinator. So pretty crazy job. So for people who don't know, the production coordinator kind of looks after all the cast. So their travel, their accommodation, making sure they get places on time, booking all their appointments, fittings, hair and makeup, writing the call sheet with the second AD every day to say when people go where and what we're filming and what we're doing, and kind of managing the office as the like head of department there. So I did that last year, which was an insane job. The film and TV industry is pretty taxing, not gonna lie. Like most people are contracted for say 38 hours a week minimum, we're 50 minimum. And I'd say on average, you're averaging a 65, 70 hour week every week, depending what roles you're doing. So I've kind of done 5 productions straight. So as crap as isolation is, kind of keen for a bit of time to sleep. But yeah, I was just working in Broken Hill. Unfortunately, we only got 3 weeks in on a job for Channel 7 and Endemol Shine Australia. So Endemol usually does like Big Brother, Survivor, all those type of reality shows is their niche. But they have another wing of Endemol Shine based out of Melbourne with a producer called Imogen Banks. So she kind of runs the drama part of their program, and she's done shows like Offsprings and Sisters. And she's currently producing a show about the Royal Flying Doctors. So that's why we're out in Broken Hill. Unfortunately, we got shut down after 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a cracker show when we can get back to it.
So I think in your industry and your roles, similar to me in sometimes dealing with the athletes, and you're dealing with some movie stars. I won't get you to go into any finer details, but who would be and not also, let's just say, who would be your three when you first started to work with them that you were like, wow, this is cool. It doesn't have to be top three because I think that can really so you know what I mean though. So give me three of the first sort of actors that you worked with or out of this whole time, and you went, wow, okay, here we go. Like, this is pretty cool.
The first actors I worked with.
So like just three of the biggest ones that you knew you'd made it.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I've made it, but look, working with Ken Jeong was pretty cool. His agent was a very special person, and I'm going to leave it at that. Navigating his travel and transport was an interesting time for the 3 days he was here in Australia. Let me think. So on the Commons, we had some pretty cool people. We had David Lyons, who I don't know if a lot of people would know him. He's an Aussie guy, lives in LA, downright absolute legend, love him to bits. And Jo Froggatt, who was our lead. She's amazing, from Downton Abbey, and was just in Liar. So, and it was quite funny because she's in Liar with our dear friend Yolan Bradford, who I got to work with for 2 seasons of Harrow, who is an absolute amazing human being. So yeah, we went from Yolan on Harrow 2 to his co-star on the Commons, and then back to Yo again. So yeah, we've had some pretty cool people in a few Aussie shows, which has been awesome. So who knows where we'll go next.
I'm guessing it's that industry where, like you said, you never know who's going to rock up, or you never know what's going to happen each day, and you just have to be ready for everything. Are you hearing everything fine, or is it a little bit iffy at the moment?
Oh, you cut out a fair bit, but
I don't know what at the moment's going
saying.
on. I don't know what's going on at the moment with the internet here, because I don't think it's yours. It must be mine. So I might even try and just reset the router for like a second, because or not reset the router, just change to a different. Just give me a second, and we'll pause the pod at the moment. We'll go into an ad break, and then we'll come back. Do you like stuff? Because I sure do like stuff. And do you like promoting your stuff? Well, don't be afraid to send us a message at thechatshow@gmail.com wanting to promote your stuff in a segment like this right now. While everyone's having a break, refilling their coffee cup or looking at their boss going, oh, really? He's still doing this? Now, that's what you do right now. Send us through and we'll promote your stuff on the show. Pretty much. It's so easy. And we're back on 2, 1. And we're back. So we just had some audio problems. And I think everyone in the podcast world, audio world at the moment, is going to go through these things while we develop and get used to social distancing and not having people in the studios that we have. So now I want to go through one of your earlier roles, because I'm just looking at I think it must be cool. So you've got an IMDb page.
Yes.
So do you have a wiki page?
No, I don't.
Wikipedia. Let's have a look.
Nah, you won't be able to find me.
Nah, you don't. But one thing, Ellison, a lot of people say you haven't made it until you've got a wiki page. But I'm guessing you haven't made it in the film industry till you've got your IMDb. Now, it also says here, add or change your photo. Why haven't you done that yet? You're a blank person right now. Do you need...
I don't have IMDb Pro. But what you'll find is when you work on a job, someone from that production puts your role on to compile your IMDb page. Like, I don't sit at home at the end of every job and go, oop, got to put the comments on. Like, a part of the production team will actually add you on. But if you get
so
IMDb
it adds them to their page, and then they sort of connect with you.
Which adds you. So then they've got to make sure they find the right you, because occasionally there's double ups. But if you've got IMDb Pro, then you can add your own photo and stuff like that. But it's a bit of an odd flex, because people occasionally think I'm joking when I say I work in film and TV. And one time I was like, just look me up on IMDb. And they're like, oh shit. And I was like, boom.
Yeah, you've got to do it though.
IMDb you. Yeah, it's fun.
Because I think when you get to some points of it, now I did obviously do a little Google search for you just before. You're on Star now. You're on all
Oh,
these
that's from
little.
uni.
Yeah, I know.
That's from when you used to try and get free extras.
Yeah, free extra rolls. So one
Yeah,
thing I want to talk
literally.
about was everyone's favorite Australian sci-fi epic occupation. Now,
Yeah.
again, you'll obviously only ever talk good things about any of the productions you're on. Now, that was probably one of your first major sort of roles on a big production. What have you
It
learned
was
from
my first job,
occupation?
yes.
Yeah, first job. What have you learned from occupation now, and how do you bring that into, say, the Commons or Royal Flying Doctor Service or all your work on Harrow? What has you noticed has either changed in yourself, or how have you gone from occupation to where you are now? Because that's 3 or 4 years now that this happened, and you've
Yeah.
grown and
I
developed
think
in your role.
I think the thing is too, I mean, I started out on that was my first job, which I got through one of my uni lecturers, who there was a few people that quit in the office and they needed people ASAP, and they were like, okay, cool, come to work now, you start now. And I was like, oh yeah, cool, 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 cool. I'd been out the night before, got home at
Yeah,
like 3 a.m., got a call at 9. I was like, yeah, ready. Like, but I think it's really important that people start on those lower budget jobs or do a low budget job once or twice in their life. So,
yeah,
I mean, I try and avoid low budget from now on, but it's kind of nice to know that there's some jobs where you literally have to do everything and anything. Like we're all
yeah,
one team,
yeah,
which sometimes I think the industry forgets that it's different departments against departments. It's not. We're making the same production. So there was a lot of doing jobs that weren't necessarily your job or helping out people where need. Like, yeah, we've all got to grab someone a coffee one day, or
yeah,
you've got to help all different departments, which I think is a great learning experience for a lot of people jumping in on those jobs. Like, but also then you kind of realize when you move up to the bigger scale productions with more experienced teams, really how much you can learn and experience from them, which is pretty cool. Like,
yeah. So, what would you say is, because you'll say you haven't made it, what I also agree with, but you are working on productions that are on TV shows, etc. What would be the day you went and either you got home and you lay in bed and you're like, yeah, not that I've made it, but that was a really cool day. Do you have any of those that stick off the top of your head? Like you've just gone, this was the day, this is why I'm doing this.
um, God, that's a tough one. Like, I think
Yeah,
there's a lot of times I kind of sit back and go, what is my life? Like, even the first
yeah,
time walking into Fox Studios to the Commons, I was like, oh
yeah,
yeah, because if anyone's been to the Gold Coast studios, they're literally just sheds. Like,
yeah,
they're cool, but they're just sheds. Whereas Fox is that real kind of like you feel when you walk into Universal or something.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe when I get to finally line produce or produce my own film, that's when I'll be like,
yeah,
yes, this is it, fam. Walk down that red carpet. But you
yeah,
still, I think, no matter how long you've been in the industry, it's still kind of that fun of seeing your name in the credits or making a show that's actually meaningful. I think will be that real
yeah,
day. My Rumi Marika and I talk about this a lot. Actually, you come away from certain jobs or certain shows and you go, yeah, that script, that cast, or there was really that message there that's super important. Where other ones you literally just feel like any other 9 to 5.
yeah,
So there's some cool ones like that. Like there's a lot of them that all worked on Safe Harbor, which was a show about refugees, and like Marika and a few of my other friends all said they came off that and they were like, yeah, this was a really important story. We're glad we got to be a part of telling. So
yeah.
I
That's good.
think yeah. So hoping for lots of jobs like those, or if I can write my own, that you can sit back and be like, yeah, I'm glad I was a part of telling that story.
That's fair. I think whenever I see you in your name at the end of any credits of anything, normally again we just press skip to next episode, skip to next
Yeah.
episode. But I do get a kick out of seeing your name there, so it's a little kudos from me to you
Thanks,
right
bro.
now. So Royal Flying Doctor Service obviously coming up now. Again, what happens in 2 months? It's a different story for like everyone in this world at the moment. Everything's shutting down unless you're in an essential service. Who would you say is, like you said, Ken Jong before and a couple of the other people, who have you learned the most off in your roles? And like, what's one thing that you can, and this can be in any job, but I feel like you've got a
Yeah.
lot of experience for someone at a younger age. What is one thing that you can teach people, or a little saying, or something that you can live by, because you've done very well at such a young age and you work hard. So yeah, something like that. What is something that you've learned in the last couple of years that you can put onto other people, especially young people trying to make it in the industry? Because again, you've done very well for yourself at such a young age.
Thank you.
Mm.
That's kind of a hard one. I think a lot of it is about working hard. And like, it's a bit of a saying that the film industry is your life, and unfortunately it is. Like, you can't bring your baggage to work. You can't
No.
expect to have a life while you're on a production. I mean, I may sit in an office 65 hours a week, but I would come home and get phone calls all hours of the night, phone calls at 5, 6 a.m. because we have to change the call sheet, or, you know, things like that happening at different hours of the day. And you just have to appreciate that it's kind of, there's so many people that want your job as well. And you're only as good as your last job, was something I learned very early on. You know, you could have an amazing career for 5, 10 years, stuff up one job, that's it. Like, you are only as good as your last job. So it's all about, you know, just getting in there every day, working hard, and also having fun with it too. Because, I mean, everyone becomes like your family in an office, which I'm sure they do with a lot of other productions. But there's also something important about, if you've got 2 people doing the same role, both work equally hard, one's a bitch, no offense, and one has a bit of fun every now and then, like, who are you going to pick?
Yeah.
Like, so it's all about kind of bringing something personal and having a bit of a joke. Like, on one of my first jobs, everyone laughs because, for most people that know me, I enjoy motivational quotes and various other motivational bullshit sayings like that.
Maybe that's why I asked the question.
Yeah, literally. So there was one of my first jobs, they let me put a quote on the call sheet every day. And it was a kids show, and we were working out in Bow Desert, which was pretty rural. And it just kind of became a thing. It was Cutsy's quote of the day, which every day you'd send it out. And even like the ABC would come back to us and be like, great quote of the day today. You know, it's kind of just like all those little things that bring a bit of joy and inspire people and just keep them positive. Because, I mean, everything's hard. We're not out here saving lives. We're just making a movie. But like, you know, just got to stay positive, because nothing's impossible if you just believe.
Oh, here we go. That's your favorite. So we'll move off your little career and everything at the moment. For us, being brother and sister, we've got a very good relationship. I think we do. Especially with mum and dad, very tight knit family. Despite you being away for the last six years now.
Yeah, 6 years. Yeah, 2014 I left. Yeah.
Yeah, far out. Time flies. So now going into the next part of it all, we just want to talk about life at the moment and everything that's going on, and we're just going to waft and go for the next sort of little period of time. As we move on, and we'll probably end up living together now again for like 6 weeks. It'll be the whole band's back together with the bloody Corona thing. Oh yeah, they were bringing
back to the TikTok. Oh,
don't even get me started. Have you TikToks yet? Have you created any? I know you've got a TikTok. I also have a TikTok.
That was about 3 days ago. The TikTok app download begun.
Yeah. You haven't done any ticking and talking?
Nah, no ticking and talking.
I actually think now it might be gone. Like, the whole craze soon will be sort of. I think people's idea of it was very good, and it hit its sort of mark, and it will do very well at this period of time with Corona and everyone being at home. But I think the next aspect of it, why I think Instagram will stand the test of time, and probably why Facebook will do a very similar, is you got your photos, you got your video, you got so many different things on Instagram that you can do. Whereas TikTok's only video, and then it's going to get to a point where people are just going to have enough of it, and it's all just doing dances and talking over, you know,
it's literally
lip syncing.
Just dancing. It's
just, and again, I think there's something about it where you look at people dancing and you go, okay, that is actually, like, it makes you feel happy in some respect too. You go, look at all these people dancing, and you see videos with mums and dads, etc. But in your industry too, I don't know if it will continue. Like, it had a very good organic reach for the last couple of months. So anyone could get famous pretty quickly. Whereas Instagram now, it's nearly impossible to blow up. Like, you need something to, you need to already be famous for then your Instagram to blow up. It's not like you're producing cool videos or something. No. But I think TikTok's going to go through a period where it's going to stop, and then someone's going to have to create another app.
There always will be.
There'll always be something that joins it, but it's that longevity now. Because I remember when my boys were bringing up the TikTok phase. Borneo, so September, October, and then now it's still around. So it's like a 6-month craze, but I just don't know if it will continue on too much past that in the end. But what else are you doing? What are you excited for now? I think this is a thing at the moment for everyone. What's the 3 things you're excited for? Because you've got no work for six weeks. Either do I.
Minimum.
What are you going to do? And what can people do to, instead of just watching Netflix the whole time, to improve? Like, what are you going to try and do in this 6-week period?
Apart from daily exercise to finally get fit again.
Correct.
Get back to writing, which is kind of one of my top things I've been wanting to do for ages. That was why I always kind of I didn't like finish high school being like, oh my God, I want to make films. Like, I hate cameras. I hate all that type of stuff. Like, I'm not really a content creator in that type of way, but I always wanted to write, and that's something I've been doing for a really long time. So I think I'm going to try and sit down every day and just write a little bit. And my friends and I always joke every time something funny happens in my life or something dumb happens. We're like, for the book, for the script, for the TV show. So it's like, I'm just going to start jamming down ideas, being like, okay, bam, 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 over the next couple of weeks, because you never kind of get that time to sit down and actually write and create in that type of way.
Well, I think you're going to have to get to a point where, I think for everyone in this, and again, it's been 10 days since from pod to pod, but for this period of time, this is, if you can't do it now, when are you going to ever do it? And then then I don't think it's a passion.
No.
And I think even the last week, I've had some ups and down moments, as you'll have ups and downs, and everyone's going to have ups and downs. And that's why it's important to chat to your mates and your friends and even other people. Just send them a text and see how they're going. Pick up a phone. Even a 5-minute conversation can help people at this point.
The world, like.
But if you're not passionate about it today, when there is literally nothing else going on with your life, and everyone else is going through the same thing. So it's not like someone's going to go, you're doing nothing with your day. And again, watch a movie all day if you want. But for you, I'd say you're a very good writer. This is the perfect time just to start. And and you never know where it can go to and what can continue on there. And your story is hilarious. And you will do some dumb shit, as I do dumb shit. And I think it would be not too bad, depending on how you do it. I will star as myself in said show. I will make my debut, and Mum can star as Mum, but we'll have to get someone else for Dad, I would think. So like a more hipper.
I guess Dad's precious, but if there's any dancing scenes, we can't have him,
Nah, he's gone. I think he could play like he could play the teacher in it or something, but just not.
I was going to say, let's be real. Mum's going to be an extra because she'll get too nervous and she'll laugh all day. And I was trying to explain this to her the other day and to a lot of people. Being on a film set is not that riveting. You do the same thing so much. Like, I hate going to set. I'm going to hate. Everyone knows it. Yeah. I don't like to leave the office. The office is a safe place. You go to set, they start chucking radios at you. Like, there's just so much happening. But they're just doing the same shot, like from 10 different angles, 20 times. Yeah. Mum would get bored after the first one. So you just got to pop in as an extra.
I think you'd put her to play herself in the pilot, and then you'd reshoot the whole pilot with someone else in it, just because she'd go, yeah, this is not for me. Or you just have to go, yeah, we're going in a different direction. Yeah, going in a different direction, love.
Film is actually the least glamorous industry that everyone thinks is so glamorous. It's like, no, it's not.
That's why they're all just on the red carpets, because it's the time they get glamorous. They're just sitting in their trailer the rest of the bloody day.
Whereas
they're probably
otherwise you
press
look at
junkets.
because all the lead actors otherwise gets up a couple of hours before everyone else to go through hair and makeup, last one to get home. Like, we even said poor Joe on the Commons was going on turnaround every day for 6 months straight, which is only 10 hours between being dropped off and picked up, like, because you just got to go into hair and makeup and then you got to wrap out, and it's just not glamorous.
But then you're also paid the big bucks, so you take the big
exactly.
bucks. That's so
compensated
you can go to
for it.
Yeah,
very nice.
You can go to your nice mansion after. So do you talk to us about your idea? I know you're saying you're just sort of rumbling with it now straight away. What sort of would you be anything you're basing it off? Any ideas? Is it more a comedy? Is it a bit of a drama? Is it a bit of both? What do you think?
Oh, definitely. a bit of both. I was even laughing the other day because a lot of people probably know that I always wanted to write a cheerleading TV show, and I wrote a pilot for one in my last semester of uni. And in the past 6 months, Netflix has done a cheer doco and a cheer drama, which are both quite popular at the moment. And I'm just sitting back being like, why?
You did get into that a little
my
bit before
pilot's
too.
not great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if I developed it at the time and actually got someone to properly write it, could have been a freaking smash hit.
Could have been a smash. You might not be self-isolating in that apartment there. You could be self-isolating somewhere much nicer.
Your apartment's lovely, Will. But yes.
The view's actually good. You got a good setup there at the moment, so you'll be fine.
Yeah,
only got 9 more days. So what's 2 other things besides your writing and your exercise that you're wanting to do or tick off at the moment? I know Dad's saying he wants to read more books or play more board games or whatever.
Look, I'm definitely watching more movies because I don't really watch movies, and I'm making a rule, which I broke today twice because it's Musicals Monday, that I'm gonna at least every day. I know. At least every day watch a new movie or TV series I haven't seen before, because I've always lived under an extra large rock. So it's time to kind of branch my horizons and watch more.
I think that's a very valid
which is
point
important
because
for
you
me.
do live under a rock.
Yeah, I do. It's got worse as time goes on, actually. People thought it would get better, but the film industry has, made my rock really been underneath it. So,
and I think with that industry, with that industry, you have to know what's going on and know the trends. And right now, you're living under a rock.
I mean,
so
for me, in the production office, I don't do anything remotely creative, so it's fine.
No.
But whenever I want to bump up one day and climb to the line producer category of life, I need to be watching more and knowing more and going to the movies weekly.
Well, I think at the moment there's enough stuff out there, and since you have my TV and all my logins, you will be fine.
I supply Stan. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you do. Correct.
Thanks, comments.
Yeah, so I think that's very fair, and I'm trying to do the same stuff, even though I rewatched John Wick 3 with Dad last night, because he hadn't seen it, so I was like, have fun at the same time. We'll watch John Wick. But there's enough good stuff out there that you are able to watch at this point in time.
I watched yesterday. Yesterday. It was good.
Oh, yesterday? Was that the Beatles one? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Because that... I know the one. Is that with the Indian bloke or something? On
Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon
Amazon's got some great content.
Well, I actually think, and I think I've said this before on the pod, Amazon Prime is the best subscription service that is out there. Say it now, better than anything else.
It's got the newest stuff, definitely.
It's got some good new movies. The delivery service is very good. They're obviously inundated at the moment, so.
Yeah.
With everything going on. Yeah, I think everyone is. So last thing, sis, what are you going to try and do? Anything else besides movies, TV, writing scripts?
I could do more reading, but I get bored very easily, which is quite a problem.
I think that's a very Cutts thing. Besides, you're like me and Mum, both get bored bloody easily, and then Supremes will just sit there and do nothing or do the same thing for 6 hours and won't even bat an eyelid. Be like, oh, shivers, it's 4 o'clock. It's like, you've been doing that.
And everyone who knows me, I really struggle to chill. Like, I'm the type of person that overschedules a weekend. I go from brunch to next activity to next activity to them. So I'm really struggling at the moment. I'm like, where are my friends? Let me meet people. Not getting a coffee. Like I was like, everyone was laughing because I was in Broken Hill for 2 weeks and already made besties with the local barista. And like, of course you've made friends. Like, that's very a Nan Griffiths trait though. But I'm finding it really weird not to be able to kind of walk out and communicate with people or sit down. Like, I mean, it's great having FaceTime and Zoom and stuff like that. And I've scheduled in a few Zoom dinners with the gals this week. But it's weird not being able to go out and socialise with people or do activities.
I think that's for everyone though now, since the new 2 people rule got announced last night. So whenever you're listening to this, it's Monday. Now I think it's really starting to hit with people though. Like, you can't do anything. And I hate the
No.
corona chat, but I think everything at the moment is that, or life is in that relation. And this is what I'll talk to you about now. And then I'm recording another pod in a couple of hours with Reese again. So I want to go over the same thing.
Who wants to
But
work in film and TV, actually?
he does.
Fun fact.
So
Yeah.
he'll give you a buzz at some point and have a chin wag. But I think what do you, and I think you could maybe tailor your answer to film and that industry
Yep.
now. But after this, what won't be the same? In, say it's 2022, you're on a film set because of what's happening now. Let's say life does go back and this thing disappears, and we're back to being film sets. We're back to stadiums filled with fans and movie theaters with people in there. And maybe we're not doing the social distancing, but we're now more aware. What little things will be different now, do you think, on a film set or in the film industry because of this virus?
I mean, I think it's going to impact us pretty hard. Like, I mean, a lot of industries are really struggling now, especially the entertainment industry. But what kind of a lot of people probably don't think about with film and TV is one of the main reasons we got shut down is like locations. Especially doing RFDS, our main location is the Royal Flying Doctor Service. Now it's a medical facility with Corona. We physically couldn't get into our location, and it relies on us filming a lot in people's houses, cafes, you know. You look at a TV show and you think, oh, like, I mean, a lot of it, some of the main sets are studio based, but especially a lot of it in Australia, it's not. Like, we're just rocking up to cafes. Well, not rocking up, but you know what I mean? It's a lot of trust, the general public and homeowners and, you know, landlords put a lot of trust in us when they let a film crew of 100 people rock up to a location. So I think that might change now. People kind of worried about who's coming into their home and things like that. And I mean, we would personally, like I was saying something the other day, I was like, there's no way film can operate with social distancing rules. How can you have two lead actors 1.5 meters apart? You know, you can't have a camera operator and then the focus puller that far apart. Like, everyone's right up in each other's grills. Like, you have to be. Like, you've got to have your boom up there. You've got to have 50 people in one small room. It's a very collaborative industry, and everyone kind of relies on each other to be different pieces in the puzzle, whether it's hair and makeup or costume, you know? So I think, I don't think in the future, who knows how it's going to affect us really, but it's definitely an industry that can't keep going on like this. Like, I mean, for you in soccer, like, everyone was laughing, what, you can't tackle people? You can't, like, it just doesn't work. Like,
they were like, don't stand next to someone in the corner. Like, how's that supposed to work? Like, you're supposed to give them 1.5 meters. That just didn't make any sense. Because I think what might, on the secondary thing that will affect you guys in the future is, especially for film, and if movie theaters ever come back to the way that they were before, because I know some people are saying
theaters were becoming popular again. Like, they were going through a resurgence, I feel.
I think Australia, they went through a massive resurgence, and I think a lot of people blame your big studio movies and the fact that your independent movies were struggling. 100% they were struggling. But I think the movie theaters actually became more popular because of the big movies, and people started to come back again and like the action. Yeah. They were the ones making the money, whereas we went through a bit, not an independent craze, but I'd say for 05 to 12, 13, there was less big budget movies, what meant people didn't want to go and it was expensive, and it wasn't an event, I think, as much. So they're the little ones that are complaining, whereas now these bigger ones are back in, and people still complain that it's just these ones doing the movies now. It is what it is. But I think that will be the next thing, is how the movie theater chains come back. Yeah. And if they are, I hope it doesn't go back to now they have to pay $25 to go to the movies to recoup costs, etc. But again, because I know the Hoyters and stuff here all have gone to the wider seats, and they're not as bunched up, and pretty much all are reclining now and everything. So it's like a mini gold
it's a better
class
experience for everyone, so they're more happy to go and spend a few dollars. It's more of an experience than Jamie and Cattle, like.
Well, and there's a bit more space too already in the Hoyters, but then you go to, like, say, a Mitcham or something where it is tight together, and you basically, the seat in front's like an airplane in the same sort of respect, that someone's right next to you. So I think that may change and how they do that. And I just think the whole handling of food and the handling of all that sort of stuff, like tickets and how that changes now, is me giving you something. It's the same with cash, but will I ever give someone a ticket so they rip? And I think, again, give it 2 or 3 years and everything will go back to similar norms.
But the travel one that's going to throw a lot of people. I mean, it could potentially wreck the Aussie film industry, because we were having big budget films like I mean, Marvel's got Shang-Chi and Thor filming, which was meant to be filming at Fox right now. But a lot of the key creative team and cast are all from the US. So until the borders reopen again, they can't keep going. Like, I mean, we were kind of lucky, and a lot of the smaller Aussie budget films and TV series that were going at the moment were just Aussie cast and crew. But that was why most of them had to shut down too. If you can't have people coming from different states or from overseas, like, I mean, even we get equipment from everywhere. Like, it's gonna stuff up a lot of things, and who knows if everyone's kind of hopeful we'll be back in 2 months, but unless things change rapidly, I don't think the industry is going to recover for a long time.
No, and I think while we've still got the isolation rules, there's no way, let's say Thor, obviously Chris is already here on the Gold Coast, but Tom Hiddleston's not doing 14 days in self-isolation, and he's not going into a generic hotel that the Australian government give him. So I don't see those things happening at this point in time.
No, and those ones started to shut down too, because as soon as one person on that film comes into contact with someone who's got it, they've got crews of over 1,000 people. Like, the odds are pretty. That,
the odds are high.
Something like that's the odds are high. Like, knock out a director or something. Yeah, like it's a bit of a problem, but I don't think those type of films will be able to go back for a couple of months, unfortunately. And we're not back until we're getting traveling as normal and pubs and everything's open. That's when the industry will be able to go back, and like yours will as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be a 6 month thing anyway. And I think all these movies will get pushed back. Everything will get pushed back. All these release dates will change, and maybe the ones in the future might be fine. And the 2022 ones, it just means Marvel might have 4 films, 5 films in production at the same time instead of 3, because it's still a money making industry. So these guys they're putting all this money into it. They have to make they got to make their money back soon, and they can't disrupt their whole plans. For 6 months, they can push some things back, but it might just mean we get 3 Marvel movies in 6 months. What might cost the bottom dollar.
A lot of us were laughing though, because it's funny how in times like this, the things people rely most on are the film and TV industry, and listening to music and art and all that stuff, and that's kind of what shuts down so quickly. And everyone's going to, in 6 months' time, go, why is there no new content? Or why has my favourite show on Netflix stopped halfway through a season? Not realising that a lot of these shows are kind of filming as they go. And that's it. Like, even I was saying to the girls before, I was like, oh, the Bold Type, they've had to shut. And everyone's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, they're still filming as they're churning out 1 episode a week. Like, these type of shows, we're going to get to 3 or 4 months' time, and there's going to be no new content on Netflix apart from old releases they'd scheduled for later in the year, trying to pump stuff out because everyone's had to stop production.
Well, I think that's going to, like you said, that's going to be the biggest. That's the staples for 6 months are going to be pushed back. All those things will be stopped, and I think people go, like you said, they go to music, they go to film and TV, and they go to sport in times of need and when they're not feeling good. And once people start running out of sport, what they have now, because there is none, once they start running out of music, because no artist is releasing really an album now because they can't connect it with a tour.
Well,
they can't sell tickets to a tour. And okay, maybe the tour's always in 6 months' time. No, they can't do anything. They can't go on radio stations. They can't drop any of that stuff. And film and TV, once we stop that, we've got nothing to watch soon. So, and that's why we always just re-watch Friends. In the end,
I was watching How I Met Your Mother last night. The classic, the staples.
So I've just rewatched Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, just to.
I've done that recently. Have you been watching the new season on SBS?
Oh, is it actually out on SBS now?
One ep a week, every Tuesday.
Okay, well, I'm behind because I only just finished season 6. So season 7.
Oh no, you're probably about up to ep 7, I reckon.
Yeah, it's saying episode 11 on Wikipedia now. So
hop on SBS on demand every Tuesday.
Well, that's good because that gives me a. I'm going to say run, but I think everyone knows that I will be swift walking on the treadmill. So.
Yeah, but if you do your little swift walk a day, that makes a difference.
That gives me a couple of things to watch anyway. So
it's a good season.
Well, yeah, look at this. Where are we? Oh, no, cool. That works well. because I was actually a little like, oh, I need to catch up now. So perfect. They're the sort of lulls we have on the chat show. Now, Eri, we'll finish it up now because I've got another pod to record with Reese soon.
So busy.
So yeah, quite busy at the
Yeah.
moment. I've done nothing else. Made some sausage rolls today. They look
I saw that on the
delightful.
gram.
So they were very good. I was actually surprised
Proud of you.
how good they tasted. I knew they were going to be good, but even just getting back into mum and dad's kitchen, they don't have everything that you need, all the herbs and
And you're quite a good cook
spices.
too, which many people would know.
Yeah, now they would know. So no, that's today. I was recording a couple of pods. Put this out tomorrow is the aim, or tonight. At one point, give people some content. But all I'd say, and I'll get you to leave some people with one of your motivational quotes. Not use one you already said. So think about it. I'll give you about 30 seconds to a minute to think of a motivational one. But I think for everyone at the moment is, again, to stay safe, stay social distancing, but focus on things that you haven't had time to focus on at this point in time. What I think is important, as we've discussed a bit today, is make sure you start doing these other things that you might have not had time for. So whether it's cooking, whether it's doing some art, whether it's creating a podcast or writing a script or something, focus on some other things you don't always get time to do. Call a friend, Skype them, WhatsApp message them.
Walk around the kitchen bench,
Yeah,
just possible things.
Yeah, just tell them where they are and what they're doing, etc., and that we're always thinking of them. So now I want to leave us with a motivational quote or a saying at the moment.
I think it's very important for this time. Remember that it's okay to be a glow stick. Sometimes you have to break before you shine.
Oh, very good. That's just the utter bullshit that comes out of all of us is perfect. So, again, sis, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. And
thanks for having me, bro.
In 9 days, can't wait for these to finish as quickly as possible. So you're back here in the household. We can actually do a face-to-face pod, and that's when I'll have the whole fam on. So I think we'll do a whole 4 of us at one time.
That'll be a lol.
What will be a crazy hour of entertainment for everyone. But again, thank you very much, sis. And
thanks, bro.
Keep chatting, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Ta-da.